Hey, welcome back to another shop tour. It is the beginning of January. Happy New Year to everybody. We have been busy in the shop, took a little break over Christmas and New Year's, but we got some things done and we'll share that with you. So we got the 18-foot Riviera. We are done with the 5200 bottom. We have the lower side planks on it. And just know when we do a 5200 bottom, we include these side planks, basically anything under the water line. So those have been glued on. You can see all the holes have been filled. The transom plank is made. The water line is marked out. So the next step is to get some barrier coat on this. We'll use the Interlux 2000E barrier coat, put several coats of that on there, and then put our bottom paint on. So the reason we haven't done that yet is we have two other bottom jobs that we're doing. We're going to wait until get another bottom done before we go ahead and do that 2000E. So it won't be long. We will probably in the next 2 weeks get the bottom finished on the 1937, which I'll show you. And we'll put barrier coat on both of those at the same time.
Rolling.
So the 1937 Deluxe Chris-Craft, they just put the bottom and bedded it into 5200 today. Zach and Tim worked on this all day. What we do is we'll make the planks first, then remove the planks, and then we'll trowel on 5200 and bed these into 5200 using bronze fasteners. The reason we do one side at a time like this is because the same day we put the planks on is the same day we want to put the intermediate frames in and get those glued in. Then when we screw it all together, it all becomes one, and then all the 5200 dries underneath for the intermediate frames and in between the planks too. So next what we'll do is we'll get the other side done next week, and then we'll fair the bottom, fill all the holes, fair it again, get our side plank on all the way around, get our water line marked out, and then this one will be ready for 2000E barrier coat as well. So hoping to get that done by the end of next week, and maybe some barrier coat on as well in the next 2 weeks. So we have the 1947 Ventnor hydroplane. We have been working on this on and off as we work on other things. This is kind of our fill-in work for some things. So we have all the plates made. We made all the brass plates inside and out. And then also for the water pickup, we got the water pickup hooked up, throttle, everything really hooked up and ready to go. What we were waiting for to put the skin on is to wrap the headers. So we got some header tape and wrapped the headers to try to keep the heat down inside the boat, and also onto this metal. Now the wood is cut out larger than the hole of this pipe. So what we didn't want is these pipes are going to get hot, and we didn't want to burn the wood at all. So what we did is we left some space around here for this, left some space for the plate, and then we sandwiched the plate together, and that way it'll hopefully keep the heat away from the wood itself. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't know how hot the end of these things will actually get, but we've seen other boats that are done similar to this back in the day, seem to work for them, so hopefully it'll work for us. we have these wrapped, everything done. We're pretty much ready to skin the boat. So hopefully next week we can get the skin on here. We have canvas coming for canvassing the engine cover. And once we get that done, the skin on, we can prime stuff and then paint the whole boat. So that'll be a good day when that comes. This boat's been in here for probably 3 or 4 years now, just picking away at it, and it'd be nice to get some color on it, and then we can put the name and number on it, and it's going to look like a race boat again. So it'll probably be next couple months before we actually get it painted, but we'll share that with you, so stay tuned for that. And then running it won't be until the spring, but we all can't wait to hear what this thing sounds like. The 1930 20-foot triple. The decks are on and glued down. Covering boards are on and glued down. We're working on making the new brow right here, and the dash had some extra holes in it, so we're going to remake that. And then it's down to plugging everything, bunging it, and then fairing. We'd like to have color on this in the next month. It'd be nice to get this thing faired out the rest of the way on the decks and get some color on this and stain it so we can get to the varnishing process. But it's coming along nice. We got to still paint the inside of the hull too as well. But it's turning out pretty good. All new decks on it, so that'll be really nice. So we have the little 17-foot Sportsman. We fixed some frames in here, made sure everything was cleaned up, all the things were fair, all the framing, and we installed 5200 down and then new plywood inner. So plywood inner on a Chris Craft came in around 1955-56. So that's when you started seeing plywood inner instead of mahogany planking diagonal. So this is a 57, and like I said, we have the plywood done. We're waiting on some wood. We've got a bunch of wood ordered. We ran out at least enough to do the bottom. So that's supposed to be coming in here in the next couple weeks. We'll get these planks made up and then get them all shaped and fit to the boat, and then we can take those off and then bed them in 5200 like the other boats here. That'll probably be about a month before we actually get to putting 2000E on this boat. So we'll get the other ones done because we got to do the sides on these other two boats too. This one we're just doing the bottom on. So we'll get that knocked out in probably the next month. So the U-22, if you remember, in other shop tours, we stripped this down to bare wood, and we have restained it, and now we are on coat right around close to coat 10 of varnish on here. We're going to keep going for a little bit, probably another 5 coats before we sand it flat and get our final coats on there. We'll do a little bit of seam repair and that kind of stuff just to make sure everything's just right before we do those final coats. We've got the ceiling boards removed. We've built a new dash for it because the dash had extra holes in this one as well. And so we built a new dash for it. Like I say, we're working on the ceiling boards right now, Scotch-Brighton and varnishing those so they'll match the rest of the boat. And then after, you know, probably about 10 coats of varnish on the ceiling boards, making sure those are right, get those back in the boat, and then it's putting the boat back together again. We are waiting for the engine. The engine's being rebuilt, and that won't be here till spring. So we'll just keep plugging away on it and get this thing finished up and back to its customer in spring. All right, so we're back on the 25 Sportsman. We have all the ceiling boards have been removed. We are just finally sanding these. final sanding with 100 grit before we stain. Caleb's been doing those. There's 42 of these, so it's going to take a little bit, but he's been doing a great job. They look fantastic. So the next step for this too on the hull is just go over it one more time to make sure everything is fair and nice and sanded to 100 grit so we can stain the boat. We're probably going to have a little bit of a sanding party here next week or the week after. Just get everybody on it, get it all sanded out, and that way we can stain the ceiling boards and the whole hull at one time. It's important to do that just because you want consistency. So we're going to keep working on the ceiling boards, then jump on the hull, sand that, and get this boat stained and get some sealer on it to protect the stain. So we have the 17-foot Chris Craft Deluxe. We are done varnishing on this boat. It's got probably about 12 coats on it. We took this down to bare wood, restained it all, 2 coats of sealer and about 12 coats of varnish on it. And we are ready to do our final wet sand and buff on the deck. And then we'll do our white stripes on it. And then we're able to put it back together again, get all the hardware back on. So we're in no hurry. We can't go anywhere, snow outside. So we're going to pick away at this one, hopefully done within the next couple months. So thanks for showing up. I hope you enjoyed the shop tour. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, then there's the Patreon. I greatly appreciate any support I can get. It helps pay for the subscriptions and some equipment if we need it. But we'll keep plugging along here. I hope everybody had a happy new year, and we will see you guys back here. Bye.